Welcome back, everybody, back into the SGC Proving Ground. Sorry about the extended break, but we are back now with some more great Rainbow Six action. Once again, KingFsher joined here by Aron. Got two great teams coming up. It's going to be Arcus taking on Castledorf. Both got 7-5 victories round one. It's going to be a great game. More importantly than anything, we are going to Clubhouse. Aron, how excited are you to get into this game?
We got my favorite map in Nighthaven last time. Now we're going to get one of your favorite maps, Clubhouse. I couldn't be more. Didn't miss operator bans, so we are straight into round one. The Maverick, the Valkyrie, the Tuberel, and the Blackbeard all taken off the board as Castledorf will start on the defense in the basement.
Already got to point out, not looking good. No castle for Castledorf, but we will try to get over the betrayal. Just taking everyone through the bans real quick. Maverick and Blackbeard taking off the map first. And Valkyrie and Tuberel, so pretty straightforward all around. We talked about Maverick a little bit last game on Nighthaven Labs. This is another one of those maps that Maverick could find some use on. So I think accordingly, taken off by Arcus. We did have a blitz as well, pretty entertaining, but gonna 6-pick that off to Nomad, much our chagrin. So no shields just yet in round number one.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is gonna be a little bit more of a competitive game. Especially with it being on club, I think the blitz will probably be very prominent. But it'll be Captain Yuri, the first picked off by Lilo. He castled off, taking man advantage at.
So Ram trying to find some shots here on to Chlora, playing with that LSG shotgun though, would not be too quick to pick that angle. We'll see what happens here. There is one outside on highway, believe it's Shiloh there on the Nomad. So with those air jabs in hand, can look to cause some chaos here for Chlora, who takes one shot from the side, didn't hit him, but now they know where they are. And playing with the Boss G at this range is not good. And the Azami decides that she does not want her Vigil to die. So keep a barrier used by Rocks and Metrics.
I mean, this team, they're in the basement. They're starting off with a really strong upstairs roll. Delaying that down a little bit. They're going to back down to the first floor. Very excited to see, how their defense is going to hold up and compare those to the RCS defense, or Arcus defense in this.
Interesting as well, because now we're coming into these games with these teams fully warmed up, and it showed Shiloh will finally shut down Flora, not on the top floor, over by the bar. They've already had a round to get ready. They want to keep winning, stay in this games. Of course, if anyone doesn't know how it works with this Swiss stage, top 16 teams after 4 rounds will go on to the next phase, so everybody hunting for those wins. There was one player upstairs from Castledorf, but now falling off to the bomb site. 1 minute left to play for the attackers. There's no KaId to keep the hatches closed, so Oak should be able to open a lot here as Aban in the next couple seconds.
Oh, there's any more. Attackers have not necessarily an advantage, but they'll have a little bit more time on their hands. They'll be able to if I go with this, they are just going to drop into mode. Gosh, there it is. On the round. Oh, yeah, going to be in blue. He's not going to be able to find the kill onto Shiloh. Shiloh in return. Turning some fire, but one player will be close left on the store. Here's Tagoyo laid down, I believe. We'll find him through the chair. That's going to be Lilo. Taken down. A nice refrag, though, from Tiny Jerry. So he'll find his. The bomb going down. It'll be denied. Tiny Jerry, Roxo finding theirs. Walking in. The zombie finally falling. 3 seconds left. The bomb must be planted. 1 HP. 2v1. The C4 will find it. Tiny Jerry closing out the first round. The defense looking good.
Very nice round there from Castledorf. And in the past minute, literally everybody fell back to Armory Church. Didn't have to take off angles. Did not have to peek aggressively. And Arcus just kind of all pushed down into the waiting gun sites. We didn't really see a hatch drop, or at least I don't think we did, inside of Arsenal. No one was pushing blue. One-dimensionality, a lot what we've talked about already in our first map, wanting that attack to find more angles, to get those crossfires, put that pressure on. Do not see it here in round one, off the back of a 3K from Tiny Jerry Castledorf. Now with the 1 round advantage, now we get it. The castle's in play. Sledge gonna take that one. Of course, I'm better than Jim, to be expected.
You know what I'm a little bit surprised about? I'm surprised that we did not see in a zombie ban. Hackers have prominent to utility, like we talked about, the best character in the game. So surprised that that was able to stay up and through, but I get it though. The Valkyrie is all powerful. It's a little bit easier to take care of.
Certainly agree with you. Two-Brow being banned out instead, so should keep those breaches a little bit safer for the attackers. But yeah, of course, the flip side now, Azami unbanned, you have stuff like the Wamai, the Jaeger, so some of these positions, like Cash this round, sure we'll see it on Rafters if they end up winning this site, but the Azami makes it so difficult to attack, and it looks like Arcus is going to go for more of a Cash take. Nobody on that Jacuzzi side just yet. Oak could be running over with that ace, but with the bandit and a Mew, I think pretty unlikely that main breach comes open. Just have to wait and see though.
Yeah, no Thatcher ban or Thatcher pick on the attacking side, so we're getting a lot of utility usage out of the I think we'll probably be seeing what we saw in the last round. A lot of like wind dimensionality. It's going to be a lot of trying to win gunfights and their respective positionings and hoping for the best. But Tiny Jerry with a nice swing on the green box. He'll find the highway player. That's going to be the sledge taken down. Chlora finding his. He'll finally get refragged out on the red stairs. Shiloh walking up on the Nomad. Now it will be a 3v4. They need to clear out the bandit. That's going to be their next point of action. The flash is coming through. It's going to barely miss. So the red stairs on the Grim come out as well.
They know Tiny Jerry's in the corner here. Question is, can they find this crossfire? Because there's one in construction as well. It's Lilo on the Mew. Have the pings yellow coming through, and Shiloh is going to get the kill. Second of the round there for Shiloh before taking out. Sledge and Roxo going huge, and Sledge gets another. That's going to be confusing once we get to the attack, but it's Sledge on the castle with the double to clean that one up. And just like that, castled off with a very quick victory there in round 2.
That's just a good flank. I feel like we didn't really set up the Nomad charges very properly that round, and able to just run up the red stairs on those attackers. Find 2 quick ones. Roxa, fight into the dash door. Very well played by the defenders. A great timing as well. All in all, looking really strong so far.
They are. We'll see how they fare on CCTV Cache. It used to be the preferred bomb site on this map. It's fallen a little bit in favor, as the meta's developed, as we get more characters, but it still can be pretty strong for the defenders. Only downside is everybody knows how to attack this site. Pretty straightforward. You get garage, you try to get red, and you can pretty much straightforward attack. So we'll see just how Castled Off approach this one. As we predicted, Azami and Wamai are going to be the call to hold down this garage. And I think Wamai disc ADSs can now capture Capital bolts, so definitely going to be a little bit more difficult for Recoil to kind of force them out of position here.
Jaeger change actually
away from the Monty is crazy. Sorry.
I don't think the Jaegers don't catch it just yet. That's a siege exchange, I think.
Oh, was it? Oh my gosh. Never mind. I thought I was cooking. It's not.
I mean, it's coming soon, man. It's coming soon. Siege X looks great. Yeah, like you said, CCTV will be the preferred bomb site here. Roxo going to be playing after at the Wamai of Tiny Jerry. So, not exactly sure where the castle's playing. Seems like he's in Cache, and we'll be seeing a little bit of a connector extend. No hard breach denial. At least there is a mute, but it doesn't really do much with the Thatcher on the board. Now we'll see how the attack.
Some pressure here on this first floor, and the Wamai Tiny Jerry is sitting first floor, kind of on that little doorway, so has a little bit of protection here from Shiloh. There's somebody sitting rafters as well to be expected. It's going to be Roxo, so helping to hold that cross from the garage door. Can be difficult to force out of position, especially with those magnets. So we'll see how the attack kind of go at this. Recoil already used one of those Capital Flame Bolts when they thought there would be a bandit tricking that main wall. So not a ton of utility to really force this Wamai out.
Yeah, but now they are changing, their point of attack to this garage. Got the platform wall open, have the control down near stock. I understand that there's players playing here, but you have to clear out garage, you have to clear out the swamp player. You have to kind of just figure it out from here.
Tiny Jerry in trouble. The Flame Bolt takes a lot of the HP, but now sat in a different corner. One watching from outside the window, believe it's Oak, was not able to land the shots. And now Shiloh goes down while on the drone. Sledge pushed them. Difficult to see where from. Sledge all the way in bar was able to open the wall. A nice shot from the mute. Now Lilo takes down Recoil, who runs in without droning. And it's all falling apart here for Arcus as Captain Yuri falls to Roxametrics. The breach is open, but the man count is low. 2v5 with a minute left, and some shots inexplicably missed here onto Joe Ram. who is able to get into position, will land him onto the castle. Chlora goes down, but traded immediately by Rock, so double kill for the Azami. And left in a 1v4, make it an 1v4. Lilo with a second, and what a round there from Castle Off.
Castle off just looking. Just don't know what the attack can do a little bit. Direct utility, we're just not winning the gunfights, and then that's just how it goes sometimes. Maybe they just needed 3 rounds to kind of up a little bit. We'll see how they go into this next round. We will see the blitz getting pulled out. You know, like you said, switching off the Monty for that Ash that last round. Could have done some bad for him. Could have, right though. Exactly what they were going for. We'll see how this downstairs hold is gonna go. We'll see kind of the same setup as well from the side of Castled Off. Not seeing the vigil this time.
Yeah, no roam needed. The Goya wasn't able to find a whole ton of impact in round number 1 after sneaking into blue and dying under a chair to Bana. It was definitely a little bit of a weird death. So we'll see if Lilo can have a bigger impact at this time. It looks like they might be keeping the blitz, which I think is a good call. I mean, Shiloh definitely has some good gun skill, but has not been using those air jabs right so far between these couple of rounds. Then getting them onto a shield could help, and that is going to be what they're sticking with. Only 1 hard breach, but with no KaayN brought again from Castled Off, really should not be too much of a problem for Oak here.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I do love watching these. How they kind of develop over time. It seems like it could be a quick blue hit though. I'm just gonna run up the Raptors. It will be a full roam clear from the side of Arcus. I can never be on the outside. Gonna run through cash, take on. Make sure this all of upstairs is clear. Pretty much their whole goal plan. Bana seems to be grabbing hatches or.
Yeah, and you know, of course they don't know. We have a different perspective, but top floor is clear. I guess Azami is rotated into the storage room, but that's basically basement. Forced off from that angle extremely easily, but doing their due diligence. So they'll have top floor control with 2 minutes to spare. Definitely moving fast, and for Arcus, we need to see more players step up. If you look at the KDs that Castled Off, they all have 3 or 4 kills with exception to Chlor, who's kind of playing that more hard support role. And on the side of Arcus, it's really just Shiloh and Joram. We gotta see these guns start heating up. This team wants to take some attacking rounds. Just under 2 minutes to go, and still no action here inside of round 4.
The 5v5. Doesn't seem like anyone from Shield Off is going to be trying to push up and retake any of the space. They're going to let him have it here. No canister number 1's going to go out, leave 2 more in his pocket. Verticality needs to start getting here sooner rather than later. You know, like we keep talking about that one-dimensional push. There it is. Some verticality finally being out, but it's just to clear out the top main players. So we'll use another smoke canister. Delay this push. Here,
You know,
stuck on these main stairs.
Yeah, it's not a good position there for the smoke. That's why all the canisters are coming out, and time so often hurting on this basement as Tiny Jerry gets 1. Arcus has done a good job clearing fast, but now Jerry in this position can pull out the shotgun if they need to. Find a nice angle. The Blitz doesn't see him, but Oak does. Tiny Jerry will fall, and now another player onto the board for Arcus. C4 can be off the mark from Chlora. So with all the smoke canisters done, you still have the Vulcan canisters from Lilo here as Goyo, and a nice impact nade. Should keep that hatch closed, but no, just needed 1 more and Oak able to grab it. All the defenders forced into sight. 40 seconds to go, and a Blitz knocking on the door. The Vulcan canister isn't popped yet. Now it will be, and now Arcus is going to have to re-engage. It'll be 10 seconds before they can push that church doorway. They're going to try again down the main hallway. They will be able to open this breach. Mira going to be forced out of position. Laura in a dangerous spot here and will not get the first. Rico is going to get instead. There goes the Blitz. And Oak picks up the second of the round. Roxametrics follows. Blitz cannot find one with the pistol, but it doesn't matter. Lilo taking damage. Diffuser going down. And Arcus on the precipice of their first round, and they're going to get it. What an attack from the Blue Squad.
A very, very clean take there. A good attack. We were worried about Tiny Cherry you know, being able to get more out of his main stairs position than what he was able to do. He actually played it very well, held it for as long as possible. It was just very unfortunate, everything that. All in all, though, really good attack. Just a really good attack. I think they're finally waking up. I think we'll probably see it.
I definitely think so too, and I love seeing the time management too, right? That is always, I think, the Achilles heel of those basement sites because you really drop down with a couple seconds left from the hatches. You're scrambling like crazy, but Arcus gets everywhere clear before 2 minutes. They're able to waste all the smoke's utility because they just caught Tiny Jerry in a really bad spot, who, to his credit, was able to take one with him before he died. Yeah, really just not a whole ton of roadblocks in their way, and they're able to get it done here. Only problem is now you have to go attack Bedroom Gym again. This site is very difficult, often the favored map on Clubhouse, and Castled Off played it extremely well the first time around.
Getting that double kill on that flank, the nomad not really working out in their favor. Able to hold the cash side like it was the site. Not really much going past red stairs from the attackers. Let's see how they swap it up this time around. See if they're able to maybe take a little bit more space with the blitz in hand.
They have, like, slowly but surely been looking better on these attacks. If you discount round 3, you know, round 4 was a good one. Round 3 was a disaster, but round 2 was also not bad. We'll see what they can do here. Tiny Jerry does have a bandit battery in pocket. They don't have a Thatcher, so they're going to have to rely on this Capitao to flame off the bandit. The only problem is, how do they get them off the wall to begin with? Captain Yuri has some impact EMPs, and Shiloh has a kill. Rocksymmetric falls in garage, and a double for Shiloh. 4 kills for the shield op through just a handful of rounds here. Now going to be able to take full garage control with the bandit down. The breach has come open, and the blitz is just in the middle of sight. Shiloh looking for a third onto Sledge here, who's sitting in secret. Lilo gets 1 kill onto Joe Ram, and now they're going to have to fall back to construction. Big entry from Arcus, but unfortunately the man count evened up from a nice pick there from the smoke.
That was just really clean. You know, entry from the blitz. Now we're gonna have to see fight happening. Drone work's gonna be super important here. Taking care of the blitz, however, it's got to be the main goal of these last 3 points. We're on Castled Off. He is already weak though, which may help out a little bit. You know, shooting this, trying to make it a little bit more even. Have a player on top of the Logi hatch. Let's see what he's able to do. As the ace in the blitz push through Khan.
Yeah, luckily for Castled Off in terms of utility, they still have 1 more smoke canister remaining as Lilo throws 1 out. They have a C4 as well, and the Warden, of course, is not going to be affected by that blitz, so they have more than enough to deal with Shiloh. Captain Yuri takes a lot of smoke damage as it looks like still up on the roof, so just got a little bit too close to that hatch. They've now made entry into Logi and have full control. They're going to land 1 shot onto Shiloh. Shiloh has to be so careful, and Shiloh pushing through the smoke will not get 1. A nice prone from Lilo keeps him alive as Clora cleans up the kill. 2v3 for the attackers. They have some very good positioning now. These defenders have to be so careful. It's like Lilo going to be the first to aggress. Sledge in the bathroom gets a shot, and it's going to be Clora yet again. The Warden from the hallway, the Mira from the bathroom. And Castled Off continue their dominant tear here on the top floor.
I mean, just very well done. You know, you're starting off losing 2 players super early on in Roxo and Tiny Jerry, and able to, you know, really make sure that you stay confident in your round, get the gunfights you need to get, set yourself up for success, and they did succeed. That was really well played by Castled Off. Kind of a little bit, just Arcus. Feels like a lot of what's going on is we're just not winning our gunfights, and not much more you can do about that.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate position for Arcus, because that's not something that you can, like, kind of change up in the strategy. You just got to get better with it, and we'll see if they can here in round number 6. They're going back to the basement. Arcus attacked this really well last time, did not attack it well the first time, so a little bit of a toss-up on what we're going to see. We get that vigil again, like you were talking about, back in round 4. It's going to be Clora, who has really come alive these last couple rounds. Was struggling a bit at first, but gets some nice kills in the last few, 2 and 1 over the last 2 rounds. So we'll see how much impact they can make. Boss key in hand, definitely a high execution weapon, high execution playstyle for this roamer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we saw on the last downstairs hold, or the one before last, where they were on the 3rd floor, they came down, you know, worked that 1st floor. I feel like we need to see more of that. That extension all the way up to the 3rd floor, holding CC, holding Gym, you know, not allowing the blitz or, you know, just the entire Arcus team to get through with no delay is going to be on this round, as it will be aggressive.
Some help upstairs as well. Rocksymmetrics there on the 2nd floor. It's a very different defensive look here for Castled Off and Arcus, who were so quick in room clearing that in round number 4, have now really had to stop to take their time, which of course understandable with a lot more impact here from Castled Off. But we talked about, the time being a problem on this side, and it will be this round. With just 2 minutes left, they're not in the building yet. They will have to go quickly. They don't want it to bite them in the back there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Captain Yuri still unable to find his way into the game. The Grimby is very useful, however, in that round where they were able to route CC. See if he is able on
Shiloh make an entry upstairs off the Blitz now, back onto the Nomad, which is questionable. Was doing good on the Nomad, but really a different force on that Blitz, so we'll see if the loss of that shield hurts and was why they were able to clear so quickly back in, I believe it was round number 5. We'll see just how it works out, though. They still have defenders on that second floor. They have not pushed out. One coming up the secret stairs here. Going to be Lilo, who will be forced back down into blue. Good angle from JRAM. But nobody's looking at Rox and Chlora, and this is really going to be troublesome. You're going to be able to aggress onto JRAM here. JRAM, I don't think, knows where they are, but it looks like Rox and Metrix doesn't either. They're going to run into each other, and JRAM is going to get the kill.
JRAM just in really good positioning there, and it doesn't feel like Roxo was really prepared for it. Won't clear out the Nomad.
Good
Very
impact.
unfortunate. They'll be aware of his location now, as Shiloh is going to be holding for that. 50 seconds left on the clock. Bomb site still downstairs, as they will have to start making their way towards it. Players.
Now Chlora on a big flank here. It's still JRAM playing inside, but Chlora misses the shots. JRAM hears it, turns around, but just runs out of there. Recoil gets a kill onto Sledge. That's one down in this bottom floor. It came from Dur, actually, so now Recoil on a nice cross angle. See how the Jackal can approach that. There's one trapped in Moto. It's going to be Lilo here, and without a Vulcan on that door, can't slow them down. 20 seconds left to play. The pre-fire nearly takes out Shiloh, but it won't. Chlora gets one with the Boss G. Chlora gets a second with the SMG-12. Cut down from Recoil, and just like that, Arcus stay alive 2 for half, and some nice attacking rounds there in the latter half of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They looked really rough, in those first 3 rounds, going down 0-3, but they were able to keep their calm, keep their cool. Now they're going into their defensive side, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more better things on this side as well.
Always interesting when we kind of swap sides on Clubhouse. It always feels like the teams either really like attack or really like defense, so there can be pretty big swings when you reach this point. Obviously hoping for both teams' sakes that it isn't another 2-4 split would get us to overtime, and honestly it's about the split you expect on Clubhouse. But Castled Off, I think they've definitely shown enough prowess to be more than capable of taking 3 attacking rounds here.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. This team, they just, winning gunfights, a huge shout out to Roxo and Tiny Jerry. No, actually, fuck all that. Huge shout out to Chlora. That guy was, what, 1-4? Now he's 5-5, if I'm not mistaken. That was a huge turnaround for him. They weren't able to capitalize on those rounds. They weren't able to, win all those rounds out that he was able to put those on. But he's really turning around his gun skill. And I think that him on the Ash is going to be a force.
Absolutely is, and we were talking earlier about kind of seeing the even numbers on the side of Castled Off, and on Arcus, they're a little bit more skewed. A few of them even there, but as you said, Captain Yuri having a little bit of trouble finding an impact. Luckily, though, it does look like he's trending into that support playstyle for Arcus, so they're not missing it too much, especially not when Shiloh is picking up the slack in the kills department, sitting at 8-5. Strong KD for the Mira. And now with these defending rounds, Arcus going to be able to breathe easier because of the bans. There are so many core tools on Clubhouse still up. The Goyo's up, the Mira's up, the Kaid is up. This basement defense should be an easy one, but with nobody on the top floors, Castled Off will have more than enough time to work from above.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see the Ram being brought out as well as the Thatcher and the Hamana. And I think that's just going to make a lot of verticality. These hatches will not be safe from the attackers. So it will definitely be a push. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be looking for, but I would imagine that hatch drops probably walking down the main.
It's interesting too, none of these teams have really shown a second thought towards blue, and that's normally one of the most contested positions here on this basement. So a little bit surprising that both teams are just, it looks like, choosing to ignore it, for lack of better words. We'll see if that changes as this round goes along, as Castled Off is getting the blue hatch, which should make it a lot easier. Looks like Lilo doesn't want to open the blue hatch. Now will, though. So that goes down. Minute and a half still to play, and now the defenders are definitely going to be feeling this pressure.
I mean, this is exactly where you want to be as an attacker going in. At 30 left, half the round already gone. They're probably feeling very confident about their push here. I believe they would probably want to have it having 2 C4s available, a lot of impacts available on the side of well. I'm very intrigued how this push will turn out because there's no blue pressure at all unless someone is rotating over that way. Like, yes. We'll get rid of that mirror window. 5 versus 5. 50 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be a gunfight here in the site.
The gunfight has started. Joe Ram losing some damage from up top. It looks like the impact nades were almost enough to hold that kitchen hatch closed. Lilo now using the last 2 XaayN's pellets. We'll see if that's an angle that's available to these attackers. Roxo as well. Getting some nice Selma charges, and the hatch is open. The Goyo can's down. Nobody pushing that way, but they'll still bait it. Here comes a flood into the site. Stun grenades out. Not going to find much. They're coming into church, and the mirror doesn't see it. It's a 4v2 all of a sudden, and the bullet parade keeps on marching. Castled off with a wild round, and what a swift take there from the attack.
I mean, running down the main hallway, able to find, I believe that was 2 off the Mira and the on box 3. That's just really good, game IQ. That's good game knowledge. They were able to capitalize off all their space perfectly. Their execute worked really, really well, only losing 2, one of which died right before the end of the overall, an amazing attack and exactly what you want to see starting off on an attacking app.
Yeah, that was a really nice round from Castledorf, and I gotta think the roam extension kind of hurt Arcus there. I mean, like, let's be clear, basement is not a site where you have to roam. It's good to, but when you give them 2 minutes to set up top, they could open up all the angles they want, take all the time they needed, and they really just didn't have a bunch of utility. I'm surprised as well. No Vulcan canisters popped from the defense, so either they had no clue that the attack was about to come, or they just weren't set up in the right position. Hard to say what it is, but regardless, kind of missing out on the utility of an operator like that who, if you're using them right, stalls that push in its entirety. That doesn't happen if there's a Goyo canister on the stairs.
Sure. Now we'll be seeing a gym bedroom defense from the side of Arcus. 2-5 score line. Will be Castledorf taking a very strong lead. Seem to already kind of have an idea of the push. Take that Ash up on the highway window. Just a moment. A little bit of CC pressure coming as well, as the Habanas will take out all 3 of the castle barriers on highway.
Good use of utility here from Lilo. Of course, opening those up very, very soon. Doe could be played for, it feels like one of the first times this map. Unsure if we saw it from Arcus's attack, but a very strong operator. Of course, kind of eliminates those roamers. And yet again, it is a very, very small roam from Arcus. They really have 1 player outside, and it's going to be recoil on that zombie here. Warden now flexing in towards Cash. But it feels like Arcus just aren't huge roamers. They will get the first kill, though, as recoil on that catwalk is able to take them floor, and that's a big pick. The entry fragger down, and so is the hard breach. There goes Roxametrics. Lilo still up, but this attack just got a lot harder. Tiny Jerry they have to find this Azami. Gets a little bit damage and will barely survive here. Both players on such low HP. See what happens here. Recoil gonna trend towards the door, but Captain Yuri takes out Tiny Jerry, getting on the board and missing the attacker running by the doorway. Recoil will not be able to pick them up as Sledge with the kill, and just like that, we're in a 2v4 favoring Arcus.
Lilo, we see Sledge, we see a Habana, we see a 2 versus 4 on the upstairs. 1:25 left to work with. It's not seeming impossible, but it is not like.
No, not at all. Luckily for them, 2 good operators to have up at the end. You have the calls, you have good guns, and you do have some hard breach left in the tank. Now, of course, the defenders just fall off towards the site. They still have Mira up. They have C4s on the board. This is going to be near impossible, and a nice castle shield setup will keep Captain Yuri safe there behind the bed. Looks like Lilo come back outside. They're just going to have to push in from construction and Logi, but you already know defenders are going to be expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is aware of exactly where these are currently. Gonna be a lot of just is Arcus gonna win the gunfights necessary? That is what it's gonna come down to. I believe in this 2v4 with the crossfires they have, it will be a lot harder to lose. First swing's gonna come out. Not gonna find anything. It's gonna be Ledge finding his Captain Yuri finding his second. That will be a second kill of the game as well. Swinging out, won't be able to see anyone. Course going to come out 20 seconds. We'll hop into Logi. Now walking towards a black mirror window. A flash out. He'll full blind himself as well, but he's going to rock out into the hallway, sees the arm of the player, has the mirror window he has to go against, but it won't be anything. It'll be Arcus winning.
Another good defense there from Arcus. I mean, if the Dokkaebi stays alive, or wait, if the Hibana stays alive there, maybe goes a little bit differently for the attack. But unfortunately, they will lose another. Luckily for them, just one round away from that match point threshold. Now we're going on to CCTV Cash. We didn't see Arcus take this when they were on the attack, but as we discussed, it is winnable for this offense. But losing a lot of players early last round really, really hurt them. They were never able to trade out recoil on that catwalk either. So, see just what they're able to do here. It's going to be another important position. Interestingly, no Jaeger. They do have Omai though, so should be able to keep them safe. Now we see it. The Monty is in play here from Roxametrics.
I believe bringing the shield played a game. We did see the blitz on Alpha. Got very well. I think the Monty could be a really good switch here. I think that at most Monty is going to. I'm really hoping that they'll be able to take care of this zombie in the unlike what they were able to do.
Big attacking round coming up here for Castled Off. Of course, if they lose this one, Arcus able to go back to the preferred bomb sites. We'll see just what happens during this round. Pretty standard lineups for both sides. We do see a Deimos here from Sledge, which Deimos, an incredibly strong operator, but Clubhouse is a small enough map where you don't really need a Deimos to roam clear, so it tells me Sledge might be just going under the floor here, looking for some shots through those floorboards towards these anchoring defenders. Can definitely help in pushing out that bandit. And interestingly, there's nobody playing on the first floor from Arcus. Nobody's in the lounge, nobody's in that stock room. It should be really easy for Castled Off to kind of walk in and do a lot of damage from below.
I believe this is a bandager. A little bit more. Actually, Bandit will not. Bandit will be dropped floor. Gonna find his. He's gonna find a second as well. Captain Yuri falls, but the trick still gonna go through. Will be a castle. Is Sledge is going crazy, dude. He's got a double on the red stairs. So it will only be recoil left as the Azami and the Raptors in 1v5 as they will all start going towards his position. Winning Raptors with him, the Monty on his back as he'll fight it. Roxo, Sledge, everyone just did so well there. A very clean, flawless round.
Clean, fast, easy from the side of Castled Off. They push themselves onto match point, and we see the first floor hurting them there. Sledge from below doing so much damage. Really seeing just why the Deimos is valuable in all aspects. And be able to go back down to Church Arsenal, but they now have to win 3 straight defenses if they want to push this one to overtime. The best now the Arcus can hope for. Looks like a pretty normal setup for this downstairs. They did lose this the first time around off of that crazy rush, so I'm interested to see what they switch up. They didn't have enough roam game. They really didn't waste any time. The attackers had a ton, so I'd like to see a bigger extension from Arcus. But they have to be careful on it, of course, because if you give any advantage to Castled Off, could end the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Castled Off just looking so far. I will say that I believe a little bit stronger on there. After that last attack, finally found their. I think if they counter that, they will be able to. Last Arcus can pick up. Very proud.
Could be the last round of this match. Starting up right now, Castled Off, vibing out, Sledge bobbing along a little as they go. Have Chlora back on Ash as well, and we wanted to see an extended roam, and we got it. 2 on the top floor, 1 in the middle. We'll see just how effectively Arcus is able to be on this. Going to be important to winning this match. They have Roxametrics back on the Monty. Monty incredibly strong, a little confusing for this site sometimes if you're not able to push right, because there's just so many angles on that basement, and there's already a player down. Chlora goes down, I believe fell off a building. Not positive.
I mean,
but
that's
I think
impressive.
That's it. It's hard to do.
Very impressive. If I'm on the the side of Castled off. I'm laughing right now. The comms are great. The vibes are amazing. You're definitely making.
Just a little bit. If you die to fall damage in Siege, you do deserve a little bit of teasing. But, you know, back up in this game, and of course, one-shot headshot means still going to be a valuable member even on low health. Interesting entry on first floor as Oak is able to take down Roxymetrics with the C4. Now the one-shot won't matter. Chlora falls to JoeRam, who took a while to get that kill, but gets it nonetheless. 5v3 in favor of Arcus. Castled off. Gonna have to do a lot of work, but luckily for them, they are not the ones staring down the wrong side of match point.
Gonna have to be able to clear out this Goya, but it seems like we're gonna ignore him and try to walk. Be able to catch him.
Bomb located by attackers.
And all of a sudden, Tiny Jerry is just insight. I feel like we need to talk about this. Tiny Jerry's insight. He has his first gunfight. He's gonna find it. 3v2 now. He's gonna go ahead and make that phone call. Ledge gonna have to get down to him as quickly as possible. The bomb starts going down. He decides not to do it as he will find the mirror off guard. Tiny Jerry with a double as he'll see the gap. He will execute through it. The last two players are going to need to take a retake here. One on the moto hatch, one on the kitchen hatch. Kitchen hatch isn't popped yet. They'll have to run down the main stairs. The bomb being planted will go down. Tiny Jerry just side his diabolical. Dude, but it will be recoil to find the first. Tiny Jerry needs to have a 4K to win this one out. He'll find the first. Does he know where the second player is? Will he hear him in the blue? Will JoeRam be able to hit the shots necessary? Sees him in the mirror window, is aware of his location, taking the shots, looking for the kill. The Goya will be popped behind him. He won't be able to find it. JoeRam with a triple on the round. Tiny Jerry with a really good try, but this won't be enough. Finish this one out.
And an interesting decision from the Dokkaebi. Doesn't pull out the DMR. One bullet would have been enough for the Goyo. It does not matter. JoeRam with the round win. Arcus barely scraping by, staying alive. Now going back up to Gym Bedroom, the site where they looked extremely strong on, mainly due to that rafter hold in Garage. I'd like to see the same thing from Arcus, and of course for Castled Off. Have to find a way to deal with it. And a fun novel idea. Don't peek the Izami.
Oh, wait. Very helpful and insightful.
I should be a coach.
That's what I was thinking too. That's got coach. Yeah, no, there's a little bit of troll. 4 people going up, or 3 people going. Maybe just leave that alone. Let's try to get rid of these mirror windows. Let's try to take care of the, the ball, the basketball. Let's try to, get this site. Because obviously, from what we saw in the last round, the side hold isn't very strong. We're able to just walk in kind of for free, win our gunfights, and it's going to be all good. We don't really have to do this, roam cross, our full crossover site take. I think we did a little bit more direct. I think our guns are floating a little bit better on the side of Castled Off, so kind of see how they're going to adjust that and make.
Be a big round here for both teams. Of course, if they win this, they'll have to go back to CCTV Kasha. The site that Castled Off attacked extremely well, so Arcus definitely have a rocky road in front of them, but this is the first step. It looks like Castled Off gonna be playing a little bit differently, sending their hard breach over to the side of Jacuzzi. They're staying on the Monty this time. Died within seconds last round, so really unable to see much of an impact. Luckily this time in a much safer position. They're gonna try to bandit trick this. They do have a castle barricade up, but it looks like Bandit isn't ready for it. Oh no, the thermite messes up. The bandit trick's gonna work. What happened?
He knifed the wall, but the zombie will die. That's going to be recoil taken care of from Chlora, but he'll get refragged out. JoeRam finding him on the CC. So now the attack will be swapped back over towards that CC side as they'll have to take Cash, Con, work their way through Logic.
Back into a 4-4 here. Castled Off going to be working from the other side now. Not going to be trying to open up that Jacuzzi wall. Instead, we'll just get CCTV here. JoeRam going to be the first one on defense. Diffuser on the roof, but somebody will go to get it in due time. Looks like it should be Sledge here on the entry as Roxo comes up the garage. With that, a zombie dead. No contention so far, and just one sitting inside a cache. It's going to be JoeRam, who is pushed immediately out in a crossfire from Red. Nearly going to get them. Sledgeo unable to find the killing blow, and just like that, all the defenders forced back into sight. Minute and a half to go. Castled Off is in a great spot here in round 11.
Already looking better. bad. However, with the jacuzzi wall still closed, it gives a lot of freedom for defenders to around. Just kind of play the site better. Be a Logitech. Roxo walking through on the Monty. Definitely as well, but he'll be taken down. Tiny Jerry outside on the windows. Smoke will find Sledge. Grab the... We'll see the castle note hiding behind. I can see his leg does a lot of damage to him. Will find the kill. That's going to be Lilo. Now making it a 2v. Tiny Jerry is going to be finding yet another, and it's going to be the Bandit of Oak. All alone inside of Logi. Where window play against the Monty looking at him as well. Through the wall, he'll find Tiny Jerry. Will get knocked down. Lilo. Close it out. Castled off. Ending it out in clubhouse.
Good attempt from the Bandit, but it just won't matter. Castled off win this one 7-4 after taking their first one 7-5, so 2 wins in a row for the squad. Got to be feeling good, and for Arcus, they put up a good fight. It was a more, I think, competitive set than we saw back in our first game of the day. But unfortunately for them, the result is still the same. They're going to be looking for some more wins to stay in that top 16 contention. Of course, for the other side now. Castled soaring up the charts off the back of a very strong game.
That was just utter dominance. Great performance. Well, it started looking better. That's all I'm gonna say. Castled off. They started kind of playing a little bit, less aggressive. They weren't able to gunfights. The other team obviously sort of bounce back with that. Just weren't able, and that's okay. Castled off looking very strong. Definitely out for heading into the next.
Yeah, of course, any team starting up 2-0 definitely gonna be a strong one, especially against another team that won in the first round. That being said, we're still gonna have 2 more rounds for you today with 4 more exciting teams. Gonna throw it to a short break before we're back with our third game of the night from these SGC qualifiers.